In bookending our reflections under what has been our theme over recent weeks of a summer of sport, we're looking in this, our final week, at various sports mentioned in the Bible. And did you know that javelin throwing is mentioned in the Bible? I'm sure many of us in watching athletic championships have seen javelin throwing. The javelin throw being a track and field event where the javelin or a spear, round about 8 feet in length, is thrown by the competitor as far as possible. And the javelin thrower gains momentum by running up before he or she lets go of the javelin within a predetermined area. Well, the javelin is a weapon that is mentioned several times in God's Word, primarily in the context of warfare and of personal combat. The javelin was a common weapon in ancient Near Eastern military arsenals and was used by both infantry and cavalry. But one of the most notable mentions of the javelin in the Bible is in the narrative of King Saul and David. In 1 Samuel 18 verses 10 to 11, we read these words. The next day, a spirit of distress sent from God came upon Saul, and he began to prophesy inside the house while David was playing the harp as usual. Saul had a spear, or a javelin, in his hand, and he hurled it, thinking, I will pin David to the wall. But David eluded him twice. Saul, in his jealousy and his anger towards David, put simply, attempted to kill him with a javelin. And so the javelin here symbolizes aggression, warfare, and in the context of Saul and David, the personal vendetta that can arise from jealousy and anger. In the biblical narrative, it often represents the destructive potential of unchecked emotions and the physical manifestation of conflict. And the repeated use of the javelin by Saul against David highlighted for us the intense personal animosity and the spiritual and moral decline of Saul as he turns away from God's guidance. Here's the challenge for us today. Let's never be those who throw a proverbial javelin at others. Let's never allow animosity, as Saul allowed animosity to develop. Let's never allow moral decline to seep in. Let's never veer away, as Saul did, from God's guidance, but let's stay close to God's guidance, that being his word. Let us never be those like Saul who would ever countenance throwing a proverbial javelin at others.